right, today I traded two different ticker symbols today, and that is QQQ and SPCX. So first, I wanted to just talk about the MNQ here. So MNQ and QQQ are pretty much the same thing. The QQQ is just the ETF of the Nasdaq. So it moves exactly how MNQ moves. So that's what I look at when I am entering my trades, and then I just execute them on my phone. But yeah, so let's take a quick look. So 8:30 opened here. We had a gap up higher from Friday evening, or from Friday. So we had a gap up higher, slowly grind up overnight. We had a move higher even during New York session. So we had opening here at 8:30, had a move higher, and then we made a high of 30,800, which I really didn't want to short this market, just because it was so strong, and I just did not want to go short. And obviously this 30,735 was a level that I wanted to go long in. But I noticed there was like a bull flag pattern, which bull flag patterns are my favorite to trade, like any like shape or whatever, like head and shoulders, or but I am aware of the pattern, right? So I am aware of the pattern. So I actually went long into call options here on QQQ around that 30,700, and then sold out of that on this move to the upside here, which was the majority of my gain. And then I really didn't mess with QQQ until we broke and closed above 30,800. And actually on this move to the downside here, I actually had another long to see if we could retest 30,800. If we would have broke 30,800 and closed below it, that would have been my stop loss, and I would have gotten out. And to be honest, with the call options on on QQQ, I actually don't have a stop loss and take profit. I have to do everything manual, and I just go off of what the chart is actually telling me versus, okay, I'm gonna sell my call option. My take profit is here. My stop loss is here, right? I look at specifically what the actual market is doing and not what the call option is doing. And I know there's other aspects of options where I need to take into consideration, but I'm still learning on options. And to be honest, I need to sit down and take the time to learn a little bit more about the gamma, the theta, everything like that. But it's been working out pretty well for me. I've traded M&Q now for, this is going to be my third year, going on third year. So I know how the NASDAQ moves. I'm very, very comfortable with trading the NASDAQ. And then I moved over to options, and that is going very, very well for me. So we had a move to the upside and then just traded sideways until we hit 30,918.50 was the high, and then sold off a little bit, trading at 30,785 here. So the next ticker symbol that I traded was SpaceX. All right, so SpaceX had a nice move, and I'm actually still in a position on SpaceX. But we had, so IPO was on Friday, opened up at Friday at 150, actually, yeah, 150, and I actually got filled on my long-term account at 150, which is awesome. And I'm still, my long-term position, I'm probably not gonna sell. I actually did have it in two different long-term accounts. I actually sold half of one of the positions, and then I sold the rest in my, so I had two different accounts, and I bought shares in two different accounts. One account I sold all of them. The other account I sold half, and I'm still holding on to 50. Share price at $150. So right now it is currently trading at overnight at 216, has gotten up to $230 per share, which is pretty wild, just because now it's, I don't know what the evaluation is. I think it's like $2.77 trillion, making it like the fifth biggest company in the world. And it's only been out for 2 days. So that's very exciting. But I took some trades here, and then I actually took some trades, especially when we started breaking last week's high. So right here at that 176 level, I did take a long, and I held pretty long here, and then I got out, and then once we started respecting this VWAP here, that yellow line, I was getting in, getting out, getting in, getting out, and then I held 190, I think 195 all the way up to 200, and I sold like at 202. But then this move right here was just insane, and especially, and it had some volume behind it too. So 650,000 shares. This was 900, almost a million shares sell off there, but we had a lot of volume on even overnight trading, which is pretty wild because I've never seen this before. I think this is the first week that overnight trading is allowed here on Webull, so I'm actually still trading, and I actually do have a long still on SpaceX. So now that SpaceX is over $200, I can maybe see us coming back down to 200 and maybe bouncing off of that level, just because it is going to be a psychological level, right? If you've seen any of my videos, I talk about psychological levels a lot, and 200 for the SPX is going to be probably a good, there's going to be buyers stepping in at 200. Let's just say that, okay? That's going to be, you can say, a demand zone. So there's going to be a lot of demand here around that 200 level, especially if we open up above, 200 tomorrow, which I don't see why we wouldn't. But yeah, and then I want to see a break of 230 tomorrow sometime. That's what I'm shooting for. That's probably what I'm going to hold long for. And if I can get some call options, maybe even some leaps in here, that would be awesome. But I don't know what the market's going to bring. But yeah, those are the two ticker symbols that I had. I am total up. So let's go to the account here. And let's go to account details. Let's go to performance. So today, and I'll just move this. So last week was awesome week. I was up 8,000, gave back 3,000, almost 4,000 Friday, which was horrible. But up 500. Let's go right here to this. So I'm up $494 to start off the week, which is really good. Overall, a really green month. Last week I had a really good week. I had a horrible Friday, but that was my fault. First of all, I didn't prep. I didn't usually do my pre-market prep, look for levels. Didn't do that. Second of all, I was oversizing, and then third of all, I was over trading, right? So those things would get me in trouble, even to this day, even 3 years later that I've been trading. But those things are things that I gotta learn from, and if I don't learn, then I'm gonna pay the price. So let's see if I don't do any of that anymore. So first thing I gotta do in the morning is prep. Second of all, just take a small share size, maybe even trade QQQ to see if we can get a warm-up trade, and then be like, okay, we're reading the markets good. Let's go and see what we can do. But this is also, I believe, a short week. Friday is Juneteenth, I believe, so it's going to be a short week. Friday, the markets are closed, so we won't be able to trade there, and then we'll have to come back on Monday. But looking for Wednesday. Wednesday, FOMC is coming out. The new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh, I believe, is coming out. So we'll see how the market reacts to his comments and everything like that. But that's all I have for this video. Make sure to hit a like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.